Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gershwin, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue with another Space Marine chapter. It's a viewer request, so if you guys have any requests for Space Marine chapters that you guys would like to hear the lore from, comment down below. This is going to be 40 Facts on the Howling Griffons. The Howling Griffons are a loyalist Space Marine chapter, founded in the 33rd millennium from the gene seed of the Ultramarines. The Howling Griffons take pride in their oaths, seeing each as a promise to an unending effort until the deed sworn in the oath is accomplished, or the oath-taker has been slain in the trying. The Howling Griffons chapter utilizes a unique color scheme that is a quartered red and yellow design. The Aquila and the Imperialis on the chest guard is silver in color. The Howling Griffons chapter badge is a black griffin rampant, centered upon a quartered field of red and yellow. The Howling Griffons are traditionalists amongst their fellow Adeptus Astartes. Their exact origins remain lost in the Shadow Wars of the 33rd millennium, but what is known is that they could always be found to be a highly active chapter. While the tragedy of the Horus Heresy had been ended, there were always countless ongoing threats to the Imperium's security at that time. Few Space Marine chapters can boast of such extensive campaign honors as the Howling Griffons. This chapter is notable for having been at the forefront of a great many Imperial battles and campaigns throughout the ages. The Howling Griffons are also justly proud of their ability to engage almost continuously in conflict and successfully fight most bitterly contested campaigns. Due to the Howling Griffons' glorious record, they have gained the right and title from the High Lords of Terra to recruit their initiates from several different worlds in order to sustain a high level of induction and combat the continuous attrition in the chapter's ranks. Since the time of its founding, the chapter has almost consistently been engaged in at least one campaign and often divides its companies so that its battle brothers may be committed to multiple simultaneous engagements. In spite of accepting this challenge, their degree of success and unwavering courage has garnered them tremendous success. Without a high degree of a tremendous amount of devotion to the Imperium, it would be impossible for any chapter to assemble such a roll of honors. These successes have come against a broad variety of foes as well. Against the forces of the Immaterium, the Howling Griffons have played key roles in overcoming several Black Crusades brought forth by Abaddon the Despoiler. The entirety of the chapter's forces united on Gundardark to overcome an orc threat, preserving the efforts of that campaign. The chapter even stopped the necrotex of Nath to end their small empire during the Plague of Unbelief. However, a dark shadow has fallen over the Howling Griffons' otherwise glorious history. The chapter maintains a long-standing bloody vendetta against the foul entity who would become the demon prince Persiclitter, the Forsworn, and the Word-Bearers Traitor Legion, from which this vile creature sprang. For millennia, the Howling Griffons have pursued Persiclitter's mixed warband of Word-Bearers and Night Lord's Chaos Space Marine, who were responsible for the death of the Howling Griffons' former chapter master, Orlando Furioso, and the entire First Company, on the 5,000th anniversary of the chapter's creation at the Ariel's Point Massacre. During the 13th Black Crusade, however, the current chapter master, Alvarado, diverted his battle barge Force of Destiny from the war effort to pursue the Demon Prince. Revenge was finally obtained when Persiclitter was vanished at the height of the titanic space battle between the Howling Griffons' First Company and the Chaos Space Marines of the Demon Prince's warband. The Howling Griffons' gene seed is consistent genetically with that of the other chapters from the lineage of Robo Gilliman. It is free from any known contamination, reproduces stably, and produces a full range of Space Marine organ implants. Because they are extremely active within multiple war zones, the Howling Griffons are rigorous about harvesting and securing the progenioid glands from its battle brothers in a timely fashion. Recoveries made in the field are secured upon the nearest chapter vessel in short order, and then returned to Mancora for storage at the earliest possible opportunity. This sense of obligation is in large part due to the fact that the chapter has a very high rate of turnover amongst its members. These Space Marines prefer to engage in the thickest portion of any battle and are always at war. Consequently, the chapter does suffer a higher than usual casualty rate, which can only be compensated by a proportionally high rate of recruitment and initiation. Currently, records indicate that the chapter is sufficiently well supplied with gene seed to accommodate even these needs. Since the death of Chapter Master Orlando Furioso at the hands of the Demon Prince, the Howling Griffons have fostered and nurtured a deep and utter relenting hatred of the word-bearers, and a vow to seek retribution against them and their lord, no matter the cost. It is a hatred which simmers in the heart of every Howling Griffon battle brother, but one which can spill over in times of madness and consume them and their every thought. Before battle, additional oaths are added to each battle brother's already extensively long list, some for the accomplishment of the chapter's goals, and others far more personal. Once an oath is taken, a Howling Griffon's battle brother goes to extreme lengths to complete it, even over the course of decades. Completed or satisfied oaths are a badge of honor, often inscribed on parchments or directly into the Howling Griffon's armor. The chapter's drive to fulfill its members' oath often influences, but never dictates, their tactical decisions. If a battle brother makes his commanding officer aware of an oath and an opportunity arrives to fulfill it, attempts are made to accomplish this need. However, such considerations are only permitted if the situation does not substantially increase the level of risk for a particular engagement. These Space Marines value their oaths and their honors, but they are generally not willing to accept necessary casualties to fulfill them. There are, of course, exceptions to this rule, particularly as pertain to the word-bearers and the Demon Prince. The Howling Griffons are organized along the strict guidelines provided by the Codex Astartes, though the chapter sees this tome not so much as a holy rite, but simply as the finest military treatise ever written. Their tactics are in keeping with those prescribed in the Codex, and only waver in situations where Guilliman's doctrines encourage innovation. Because of the work's comprehensive and pragmatic teachings, this is seldom a problem. Even by adhering to the Codex in the strictest fashion, the Howling Griffons sacrifice little flexibility. They remain more than capable of responding effectively to any known opponent, and of adapting quickly to the abilities of a noble point. The Howling Griffons are organized into battle companies with specific roles in keeping with the directives of the Codex Astartes. Cases of inconsistency with tenets are generally only due to the high rates of turnover among the chapter's membership. Because these Space Marines sustain a high rate of casualties and recruit so aggressively, they are not always capable of fielding enough battle brothers to keep all 10 companies filled. At times, the chapter has transferred members between companies so that one can be dispatched for an engagement while another undergoes resupply and retaining. Though members often view an assignment to resupply with disdain, most accept its necessity, while simultaneously attempting to transfer to another company before it is deployed on a combat mission. The Howling Griffons chapter is also notably well provided for in both arms and wargear. The chapter's extensive forges on their homeworld of Mancora work tirelessly to keep the Howling Griffons supplied and to make good on battlefield losses as they occur. The capacity of their armories are such that they are not only able to keep pace with the chapter's aggressive nature, but are also able to manufacture and maintain some of the rarest battle machines available to the Adeptus Astartes, such as the Land Raider Prometheus and the advanced Mark 8 Errata pattern power armor. Also of note is the chapter's tradition of maintaining powerful psychers in its rank, due in no small part to the recruits they adopt from their homeworld of Mancora, whose population possesses an unusually high frequency of psyker mutations. The recruitment world of Mancora has a higher than average incident of psychers born amongst its population. This has resulted in the chapter's ability to maintain a strong librarian down through the centuries, due in no small part to their own codiciers, taking on active roles in culling and policing Manicor's population and weeding out those psychers who would be a danger to themselves and the population at large. This fact is reflected by the number and raw talent of the Howling Griffons librarians. Ultimately, these unique talented Space Marines exercise their gifts in a manner that is consistent with the teachings of the Codex. However, because the chapter has an exceptionally high number of these psychers, their service plays a critical role in shaping the chapter's engagements. These battle brothers represent a critical strategic asset, as the chapter's officers take care to utilize them in the most effective way possible. Most chapters train and test chosen psychers following the ancient ways laid out in the Codex Astartes. Librarians of the Howling Griffons are trained in this way, and with a few minor traditional variances, have been taught to live by the word of the Codex. Howling Griffons librarians have a number of unique psychic abilities only used by the psychers of their chapter. Librarians of the Howling Griffons chapter take their oaths as seriously as any of their brothers and can bind them psychically with blood to make them more potent and enduring. The Librarians call upon this eldritch powers when taking on oaths at the start of a mission, committing not just his word, but his spirit to the binding and seeding it with a few drops of his own blood. Any other members of the Howling Griffon squad may choose to participate in the oath-taking with a Librarian, which will psychically compel them to carry out its terms. This power is known as the Blood Oath. The Griffon's Howl is when a Librarian calls to the warp and draws forth a mighty cry like a diving bird of prey to strike fear in his foe and shatter their resolve. This cry is also a potent weapon against warp spawn and can shake the ties which bind them to the material plane, sending them screaming back into the immaterium. The last known specialist power is called Perliclitor's Bane. The Howling Griffons' intense hatred of wordbearers and their demon prince have been translated by the chapter's librarians into a number of abilities targeted at the Chaos Marines of the Traitor Legions. When the librarian summons up his power, he is creating a psychic resonation that can cause agonizing pain to the members of one of the Traitor Legions present on the battlefield, badly eroding their effectiveness in combat. And those were 40 facts about the Howling Griffons. Now, there's going to be more on this chapter. There's going to be a part 2, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any suggestions for other Space Marine chapters, please comment down below. If you have your own Space Marine chapter that you created and you would like us to create a 40 facts video on them, we do that for you guys. Just simply either message us on Facebook with all the information or email us at onemindsyndicate1@gmail.com. Again, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. By you guys liking these videos, by you guys commenting on our videos, it really helps us out because YouTube sees that you want to see more content from us, and of course, we get promoted. So thank you so much for that, and I'll see you tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.